If you think they can keep a secret, because he doesn't watch these, so we can tell the world.
Yeah.
So basically, listen, Brayden's the commissioner of our fantasy football league. As you guys know, we've been talking about it like every week.
Can you see that? There it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trophy. Look that way. You can see a trophy.
Oh shit, this way.
In the back. So sexy. It's mine.
It's my trophy.
It's really mine. My Trump voice has been lacking recently, bro. I don't know what it is. I gotta get back in the flow of things, man.
I think you're wrong. I don't.
Wrong,
really think
wrong. You are
wrong.
so wrong.
Wrong.
No, but he's the commissioner. He found out he can change points on players after the fact.
Yes.
That's nuts, dude. So anyway, we got a buddy named Cassidy. We hate that guy, and we want to.
Oh, it wasn't even Jonah. It was Jacob.
Oh.
But still.
Yeah. I mean, you should have helped Jacob, not Jonah. But sorry, Jacob.
I didn't. Anyone.
No. But yeah. So we want to mess with Cassidy and because you for example like Brayden said, if Marvin Harrison, he scored 31 points this week. Let's go, Marvin. I had Marvin in my other league, not the one that we're talking about, but Marvin scored 31 points. He could change it to 12 points, or let's say he's winning by a point. Dude, that's even funnier. If he wins by a point, you just take off a point and a half.
And so here's what happened, right? And I obviously know no one cheated. I just in the moment I was pissed off. I had my conspiracies. In my Yahoo league, when I went to bed, I had won by a point and a half or point 30 something. I can't remember. But just barely won. Well, I woke up the next morning and they were talking in the group chat and I saw my name and I went, what? And I looked at it and apparently overnight they updated the defenses 3-4 hours after the game. And they took a point and a half away from me.
Oh, I remember
and
this.
Gave them half a point. And so they won by 0.8 in the morning. And I was week 1 of fantasy football. This is my first time on Yahoo. I've never had this happen with Sleeper, ESPN. Fuck this shit. Pardon my language, I was so frustrated. So I just kept when you just know something's happened, but you just keep going back because you just for some reason you're hoping it's gonna change.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the score this can't be real. This can't be real. Well, then I was thinking about our own league and I was trying to do something. So I went and looked at commissioner stuff just so I can understand what I can do. And I found out that you're able to change the points of a player on how they do. I can I can take someone from my team and put them on Logan's team. I can take someone off I can take someone off the waiver.
You could do anything.
I can give them to myself.
Can you change people's names?
Huh?
Can you change people's names?
No.
For example, my name, you can't change my name to something?
No.
Oh,
I can lock your team in. I can lock your team down so that you can't trade or you can't pick anyone up or drop anyone.
Dude, I'm not going to piss you off, dude. You're amazing. I love you.
No, see, I feel I would never do something like that.
I know, yeah,
those are crazy shits. But no,
that would piss me off, bro. That would be crazy.
I know, right?
Could you imagine getting an argument with someone?
Your team's just locked.
Yeah, imagine getting an argument with one of your boys and they just lock you out of fantasy football with money involved. If I put money in, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, the only time I've used it twice. I used it once because in God Squad, Ivan, he's a flight attendant. And so he was super high. He was 20,000 feet in the air. And he texted me. He was like, hey, man, I got reception, but I have no internet. Can you put A-Chain in? It was the night A-Chain, out of nowhere, I did a game time decision. So I used the power to go into his team and I switched who we had playing to put A-Chain in for him. Because he would do it and he reached out to me to do it. It's not that he it was before the game. It was before anything started. He was well aware. He just didn't have the ability to do it. So I was like, yeah, I got you. And then with Devin, if you end up watching this, I'm so sorry. Devin did one of the most insanely silly things I've ever seen in fantasy. And he dropped an injured Kenneth Walker, the third, for Rico Dowdle.
Who?
And Rico Dowdle.
Who?
This is the guy competing for snaps with Ezekiel Elliott on the Cowboys.
Okay.
But Kenneth Walker is arguably a top 10 running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I was at 7:30 in the morning, and I woke up to see that, and I texted him, I was like, yeah, you're not doing that. I was like, that was an accident. I already know that. You knew you didn't think it was an accident. It's an accident. And then so I put him back on his team, and I was like, figure it out from there. But Don't do that.
You got your one strike. If you do it again, I'm not helping you. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's a
like
good
the
friend.
type of thing. Yeah, because it's just like one, he misses out on that. Two, someone else in our league who's like more knowledge is going to pick him up, and then
Right, right.
they have this OP ass team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You don't
So
want that.
yeah,
Maybe they just take them off their team. Say no, no, no.
you're not allowed, sir.
Dude, that's crazy. Anyway, so that's not. I didn't even know you could do that. So, anyways, we're talking about doing that to one of our friends. I think that'd be really funny, just like mess with him one week. Like he goes
Yeah,
on, and like
everyone said zero.
yeah, yeah.
Like take like six
Yo.
points away from everyone. Just like people to start dropping in points for some
Oh,
reason.
that you know how funny that would be if like no. Here's what we do. Whoever like we could do it when he's going against you. I don't care because I think we already played week 1. Or no, not in our league though. Not in our on our dynasty though. But I play him a lot later. But we could do it earlier and like have it to where the other team is like playing really, really bad, like really, really bad, even if with all their players playing. And then the night before, you just pump all their players up, dude. You just pump them all up to like 30 points each, and he wakes up the next
Just give
morning.
him a scare.
Just give him a scare.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'd have to what I was saying is I'd have to get if I'm just saying for the viewers.
Yeah.
I told Logan we definitely have to be something we get everyone in the chat for, like a group thing. Because then it'd be even funnier. Everyone's like, dude, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, if you genuinely get them like that, yes, you get a good reaction, but I don't know. I don't want anyone to like distrust me with like having that control and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like so if everyone knows it's a joke, then
I mean, I don't think anyone. I mean, most people in our chat wouldn't care anyway. Like, I think they all trust you. At least everybody I'm thinking of.
they should.
But ooh, little James McAvoy over here. But no, but yeah, I think I think that'd be really funny. But can you do it in playoff games too? That's messed up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
No, the coolest thing that I'm gonna go back and do, I have to look at the history of the ESPN league, but you're able to like submit years prior. So I'm gonna put like last year's where we started and who won and you know what I
Oh,
mean?
that's cool.
Yeah.
We'll ignore that I'm like second to last in that league in that year. We're not gonna talk about
I
that.
lost in the Super Bowl. I'm fucking pissed. I'm coming back for the vengeance. It's actually crazy. My Eagles lost in the Super Bowl, and I lost
It's brutal.
in the Super Bowl.
Brutal.
This year
Runs
is
in
our
the
year,
family.
though. This is the year, bitches.
Maybe. I know I put something in the chat. You're probably not happy that I put in there, but it was a joke. It was a joke.
Saquon Barkley is going to be the MVP.
I'm getting my $26, bro. We made a deal. We made a deal. 26 bucks.
deal.
That Saquon. What was it? Saquon's gonna be number 1 running back.
Number 1 running back in the league.
I don't think so, man. I think he's gonna. Listen, I'm not. I don't wish injuries on anyone. I'm not someone that does that, unless it's
But
Caleb
he
Williams.
wants this motherfucker to hurt himself.
But he's not gonna. He's not gonna.
Unless he's Caleb Williams.
He's not gonna. He's not gonna hurt him. Like I don't obviously want him to get hurt, but I think just his history. It's like J.K. Dobbins. Like some guys are just prone to injury, and it's just kind of a win.
Yo, Dobbins is nutto.
Yeah,
That guy,
he's going off.
His average is 20 points a game right now.
That's
he has
scary.
scored 20 points in each game.
That's scary, man. That's scary. What are the I guess we'll see after tonight though. I want to see what the league rankings are for ours.
Oh yeah,
Because I think I'm 0-1. Yeah, because Cassidy beat
after
me.
this week it'll be different.
I'll be 1-1 this week because I'm beating JJ. So I'm not worried about that.
You're 5th in your division. That's not bad. But
It's
you're
not.
gonna be on the up.
Yeah, we're on the up because I'm about to win. So we're gonna rise, baby. We're gonna rise. I mean, is it Worthy kind of screwed me over? Like it was weird. I'm very top heavy in this league. Like Marvin Harrison and Nico Collins are what won me this game. And Montgomery. Let's talk about Montgomery. He's had 2 really good games back to back. He's had 2
That
really
guy's
good games.
gas.
And what's Gibbs looking like? Is Gibbs struggling then?
No, Gibbs has been fine.
Okay, yeah, because Montgomery, man, 2 really good weeks in a row, bro. Yeah, he had 16 points and then 17 points.
Oh,
So he's doing well.
Dude, go look at week 2 between Wiley and Zach. That game is going to be down to the wire. Zach's up by 3 points, and he has his kicker, but Wiley has Drake London to play. And Drake London, he only put up like 3.5 points last week.
Wiley and who?
And Zach,
Oh, wait, what league are we in?
Hurts.
For me, week 3 saying Jonah and
No, week two.
oh.
Crazy matchup. That's a close one right there. 3-point game. He's got his kicker. He's got his wide receiver.
Yeah. Evan, wait, so who's the receiver?
Drake London, and then he has Young Hoku as a kicker on the other team. So, interesting.
We'll see, man. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really good. Yeah, this is. Oh yeah, he's the one that has JK. Yeah, no, this is a really good league, man. It's going good so far. So we're gonna keep you guys updated every single week. We got you guys.
Week to week.
Me and Brayden don't play for a while. I don't think. I think it's like toward the end of the season.
We're ready to play.
But we're gonna have a lot of trash talk. It's gonna be great.
We want to play now.
Right now, let's start it. You know what else we're gonna talk about right now is Speak No Evil. We went and just saw that. Just got back. And a great movie. Yeah, this movie, like, honestly was horrific. No, I'm joking. It was a fun one. No, it was yeah, we walked out, dude. So I think those people did walk out of Beetlejuice, which really sucked to see.
Yeah, bro, that was like such a good part of the movie.
And they're old. Sorry, that's rude. They're older, like they grew up with the original Beetlejuice. They grew. Oh yeah, by the way, we got turned away at the front gates for Universal because Brayden wore a derogatory shirt.
I wore a shirt that said, "Tonight we, F word," and dude,
fart.
We fart, and it was like, bro, like, come on, like, yeah. I'm giving you the fuck of you too, huh, buddy? Now what do you think of my shirt, huh?
So
yeah, no, but Logan told me to flip it around, and I put it inside out and flipped it, and we snuck right in.
Oh yeah, I was telling him, you guys are so rude. I told Brayden, I was like, dude, like, yeah, you can buy a shirt at the gift shop. And I'm like, we're not paying $35 for a shirt. We're not doing that. So I was like, Brayden, here's what happened to me. Last year for Halloween Horror Nights, I pulled up. I can't remember. I think it was just with the normal crew, with Cassie and all them. Mm-hmm. And because we had a 30-day pass again this year, so we go all the time. But I went and I have a Michael Myers shirt where he's like flipping off, everyone. And I wore it, and they're like, no, you can't bring this in. And I'm like, what do you mean? I look around, bro, and there's people with, like, heads cut off on their shirts from, like, movies and stuff. You know what I mean? You got Michael Myers stabbing someone, and I can't have Michael Myers flipping someone. Like, what? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Anyway, it's a horror thing, dude. Like, come on, man. Some of those scare zones are a lot more brutal. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So I went into the bathroom. I just flipped it inside out. Now, Brayden's is a white, tight shirt. Like polyester. You can see right through it. Mine, and he's really jacked. Mine was like a cotton, like, black shirt, so you can't see the emblem. I just flipped it inside out, wore it backwards, and walked right through. And that's what Brayden did. So we're good now. We made it in anyway. So that kind of threw a wrench in our plans, but we made it inside. Went to this film. We saw this. I'm not a guy who loves to watch trailers, but we saw the preview of it a few times in the theater because we've made it early now a couple times. Usually we're cutting it close with movies, man. But it's like we're what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what I'm trying to say. There's a word I'm missing. But we're known for that. We're known for that.
Notorious.
Notorious. There you go. We're notorious for that. Ominous was coming in my mind. Like, what am I thinking? But yeah, notorious for showing up super, super late. But we've been early, so we saw the previews, which Brayden brought up a good point. We wish we wouldn't have, because this movie is supposed to be a plot twist movie, and of course they just showed the entire plot twist in the trailer right away. You know what I mean? That's something Blumhouse is known to do.
They don't even do the trailer. Everything from the trailer is in the third act of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like kind of insane.
That's Blumhouse. Like, I love Blumhouse. Like, I Jason, if you're watching this, you're not, get me in a film. Like, I love Blumhouse. I think they're awesome.
Yo, by the dark room.
And so he's amazing. And he's Blumhouse, like, is either a big hit or a big miss. And they've been hitting a lot more than missing recently, so they're kind of getting momentum here. And I think this was a hit. I think that they did a decent job with it. Basically, it's a story about this guy, this family, It's a husband, wife, and a daughter, and they meet this other husband and wife on a vacation in, I believe it was Italy, and then they eventually go visit them back at their country. I forgot where they live. Are they what are they? Where they live?
Daughter, daughter.
Yeah, something. I don't know. They live in another country, while the other couple is from France. So anyway, so they go visit London. Sorry. So anyway, they go visit these people, and it just basically it kind of turns into like Midsommar, kind of. You know what I mean? It's like stuff just starts happening, and then we realize that
very A24 vibey.
Yeah, I like that. A24 is yeah, that's actually a good point. I don't know why A24 didn't pick this up. Because Blumhouse is like mine, and rightfully so. It's a really good story. So yeah. Anyways, they eventually, spoiler alert, the family it turns out to be psychotic, and there's some pretty cool plot twists within it. So I just feel like Brayden was saying in the trailer, like why are you gonna spoil the entire film? This could have been like a Sixth Sense movie. You know what I'm saying? Where at the end it's like, I see dead people. It's like, oh, you're dead too, dude. Oh wow. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was like we knew what it was the whole time, which it still was impactful because, like I said, there's little moments and storylines within it and plot twists that are surprising. But for a lot of it, it just, we kind of knew what was happening. So it was kind of along for the ride. Brayden, what were your expectations going into it, man? You're the one that really wanted to see this film.
I really like James McAvoy. I think Bro is like one of the most underrated actors of our generation, but he is like fantastic. One of my favorites. I love horror. And just the vibe itself seemed really cool. And like when I seen him talk about it, it's like he was comparing it to his other characters and how his other characters are like not intended to be bad people. Like they're not actually bad people. Like they're just like psychotic. Like they have mental diseases, things like that. This guy was genuinely like an evil person at heart. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like even though his other characters were bad, they weren't evil. Like this guy is evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was very excited to see the movie, and even in like the opening shots, like I loved how they opened the movie with the kid in the background. I loved the shots. Like me and Logan at the same time when they did like the big landscape shot, we both went, "Oh shit!" Like it was beautiful. Like it was beautiful. So yeah, I had pretty high expectations going into it. I'd say.
Yeah. The visuals in this film were amazing.
Yeah.
And it was like that throughout. Like a lot of the, like you said, like there's placement of like jump scares that were really good. There was like it's weird. It didn't feel like Blumhouse has done a lot of stereotypical horror in a lot of their films. With like those cheap jump scares, like you had what was that one, the Boogeyman? You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like that kind of vibe where it's like just so stereotypical with horror.
Yeah.
That it just like it might be good, but it just kind of gets repetitive, and you know what's gonna happen. This is a movie that it was so unpredictable, everything down to the jump scares and the shots and the characters and their development. And so yeah, Brayden's right. I think that they just did a really good job with the visuals and all that. I think the first and second act of this movie are really, really solid. I loved it, man. I thought, the characters were super intriguing. I loved the dynamic of the dad. I thought the dad was a great character before they ruined him in the third act. And
We're
there was
talking about the main family.
Yeah, the main family here. I really liked what they did with them and their whole thing. And then, you have the then of course you got the psychotic family as well, and to see kind of their slow descent into what they're doing. But yeah, that we can kind of talk about that. The first and second act of this movie, I feel like I would probably rate this movie a 9.2, 9.3. You know what I mean? Just based off those two acts. Like they're incredible. Like the pacing, like Brayden, you talked about it. There were some really uncomfortable moments where you're just like, oh my god, like what are these?
It felt like Hereditary in those moments where I was just sitting in my chair and I was like, ugh. But it felt like, and I'm somebody, because I know you're not the hugest fan of that movie, but I love Hereditary. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not even trying to shit on it in a bad way. This movie, like in the uncomfortable moments, it didn't feel like forced. Like it didn't feel like it was trying to be uncomfortably weird. Like some demonic shit was going on. Like it literally just felt like these people were just like literally so fucking insane and like just weird that it felt weird and uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You could feel the tension.
Well, that's a really good point. I think that they because Hereditary, I got that's a whole other conversation, but
Mhm.
but you are right. The good parts of Hereditary I really liked is what they incorporated in this film. Um,
Yeah.
and we're referring to that eeriness. You know what I'm saying? That A24 classic A24 eeriness that they have in all those films, which is why that comparison was really great. That's a great way to describe this movie. Um, and like I felt like a big budget A24, but like you said, my big problem with Hereditary is it just felt like it was weird to be weird at some points, and this is a movie that wasn't that way at all. I think that's why I really
Yeah.
appreciated it. It felt grounded. It felt like its own thing. It felt like everything that happened and that they did and the choices that they made when it came to the writing and plot points and the shots and jump scares. It all made sense for the story. And that's what I really, really liked about it. Like I said, specifically in the first and second act, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and I think that's exactly like leading into the third act. That was the problem with what I was telling you. I feel like they delivered such an excellent upbringing of the first and second act. Like it was different. It was slow but engaging, and it didn't feel like a waste, and it felt like perfectly set up. And it just felt like going into the third act that we were about to get this crazy, I don't know, like this certain way of how things were going to be done, this crazy explosion of action and, emotion and all that. And I just feel like that's where part of the disappointment came from going into the third act.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Because I felt like it was paced perfectly up until that point. It's not even the pacing that was bad in the third act. You know what I mean? I just think it was like they had done the right steps to get to the third act, and just like the execution at the end was just like,
yeah, yeah. I'm with you. Let's start out by talking about the characters. The dad character in this movie is a character that we all relate to. Every man will relate to. Not the crazy, not James McAvoy character, but the other guy.
yeah,
Here, take that out. It's everything that a normal dad would do. Like this girl wanted her stupid stuffed animal, and she wanted it so bad that they had to go back. They literally leave. They leave the house because everything's so weird. They go back and for this stupid stuffed animal, and then there's like three other instances. Yeah, there's like three other instances, bro, where like they go back and they risk their lives and themselves for this stupid bunny because she has this anxiety and whatever, this connection to this animal. That's a stuffed animal. That's a whole other thing. But there's like a moment where they're in the car and they're leaving, and the mom's like, "Hey, we need to go back," and he's like, "She's 12 years old. She doesn't need a stupid stuffed animal." And that's like, yeah. There's no reason to go back to danger and risk your lives for a stupid bunny. Like, this is what, come on, I don't care if she's having an anxiety attack or not. You need to, as a parent, you should know what to do with an anxiety attack. She doesn't, and also her having to rely on this animal for the anxiety is not going to help her in the long run anyway. That's horrible parenting. So you need to get past that.
Yeah. You know what's really bothersome? Not to cut you off.
No,
It's
dude.
like, I don't know why I'm thinking about this. Like, I think the problem with the third act is it, like the scene in the bathroom, right? Where they get them to go to the bathroom. I think the problem is why it's hard to just be like, because when I was talking to you about the car, I was like, it's not a bad third act. It's just not what I wanted. And I feel like a prime example of that is when they're in the bathroom, right? They do react completely logically at some parts. Like when she brings her into the bathroom and she she tries to make the period excuse. That was smart. They get into the bathroom. She shows her the pictures and she's like, okay, holy shit, we need to just be normal. Like that was like the one time I really liked the mom. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Because
Yep.
I'll get to her character in a minute, and she's a great actress because she was really, no offense, a really unlikable character.
She was great.
Fantastic job. But that was like the one part she like literally was like, she was like, but I can't. She was like, no, listen, you're going to give us away if you react like that. Like we just need to be normal and get out of here. And that was like one part of the film, like that was like the one, like, and I tell you, because that was probably the beginning of the third act. I told Logan straight up, and no spoilers, obviously, or spoiler warning. I really liked that part because it was like they all came, like they got the dad. The dad was in on it. They knew like the other kid, like they were gonna have to come back and save him. They like come out. Nobody's acting weird. They're like, let's go. They get outside, the tires popped. Of course, we know he did it, but he's like, I'll fix it up. They fix it up, nothing happens. Everyone's acting normal still. Then they're like, he's like hinting, he's like, where's you sure you got everything? Are you sure you got everything? We look up and we see the bunny, and it's like, oh, okay, someone's got to go up there and get it. Of course, we know who probably put it up there. But he gets up there, we have the scare. They come down. He makes the whole thing uncomfortable. James McAvoy's character. They get in the car and they start to leave. I'm a fan of this so far. I like this execution of the beginning of this third act. This is okay. You know what I mean? I like they're leaving. It's you can just because you can tell something is being led up to this point. Like I felt like it was going to be something at the car rather than them getting in the car and going. They're starting to get down, the gates open. I'm like, okay. Out of nowhere, we just see the little boy get pushed into the water. Boom. Then they start freaking out. The little girl finally breaks character. She's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. They stop right before the gate. This is where you lose me in the film. You had such a good execution, whereas we just needed you. The logical choice is to continue forward, obviously, right? Now, I understand trying to have that whole hero mentality. They have the dad get out of the car. He goes to save the kid. They're so focused on the kid that they don't drive forward. They close the gate before it's too late. I mean, I would have probably just tried to ram that John, but at the same time, I get it. So he gets the kid out of the water. They come down. They got the gun. He's like, follow us. Then, even like the bank account thing, I'm kind of a fan. They got them in like the house. They're talking about like he transfers like 200 grand over. They're sitting up like they're there. They all make like the fight. They get out. They lock the door. I'm like, yes, logical family.
Yep.
You beat their ass. You lock them in. Get out now.
Yep.
Then the fucking sous chef from earlier ends up being right there, and he starts shooting at them. They took one shot to the car. They back up, and they drive right back to where they fucking came from. This is the decline of the movie right here. That was the first illogical choice, and it set the precedent for the rest of the third act. I promise. Because all they had to do, put your head down, continue to swear, boom, 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 maybe hit the guy. Do anything except for go back. They go back. They run inside, think they got the landline. He goes in, unlocks the people. Now we got a manhunt. It felt like this moment in the game, in the movie, felt like a game to me. It felt like Leatherface, the new Leatherface game. Because you have like the three bad guys roaming around, and then you have your group of people.
Yeah.
And it's like, I even said, I really liked how I was telling Logan where they come in from the different entrances and the exits. And it felt like they were being closed in on, but it was just like little things that were happening and that ended up like that could have expanded on more and had more potential didn't end up happening. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what took the quality down for me and Logan. Well, I don't know about you. I just felt like, at least for me especially, we were talking about the scene in the closet where he's the dad sitting in the closet waiting for like the chef to come up, and he sees the family and he goes to shoot at them and misses, and he comes out of the closet.
Oh, no, by the way, it takes him 15 seconds to come out of the closet. Yeah, that's what I don't get.
After he shoots, yeah.
Like, after he shoots, and it's like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, he waits. I'm like, dog, he just shot at your family. He has another bullet. Go out now. What are you doing?
Yep. So he goes out. They, literally, he pushes him to the floor, misses with the hammer. They wrestle on the floor. The chef gets on top of him, about to put him through glass. The wife comes out, takes a hammer, and kills the guy in one hit. Here's the problem with this film right here. They took their two stories, and I feel like they set up an arc for each other, and then they each took each other's ending for what the arc should have been. So throughout the movie, we kind of can see in the relationship that the husband, he doesn't really seem to be as involved. Like, the wife is like, she had a cheating affair. And it was just through text. She's on her phone. She doesn't satisfy him like with sexual stuff. You know what I mean? They have a kid. She's not happy with where she's at. He isn't receiving the love that he wants. He doesn't feel complete with his life. He feels like something's holding him back, and he's not happy. So we get through the whole movie of where it's like, she's very particular about things. She wants it this way. She wants it this way. This is why I said she did a great job. She wants it this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, and always gives her husband shit for it. He's just always constantly doing the logical thing and just trying to please people, but it's never enough. And so I feel like how they build it throughout is that she constantly gets more like not shut down in a bad way, but shut down and more open to trying other things, like with the meat at first and doing things that make her uncomfortable in the bed. Like we kind of see the compromise in the relationship for each other. Like he's starting to do, like she's starting to give him the things that she wants and like, or that he wants, and she's like trying things for him, and he's also kind of being a better loving husband, and he's still tending to his tasks. Like I felt like they're starting to become more of a balance. And then like we get to the end where again she plays victim, but then she like laughs about how she doesn't give him any play and talks about the cheating thing in front of the family. And then it just becomes at the end where it's set up that he should take on this role. Like, no, like I'm done with this shit. I'm the husband. Like, this leading man role. And like, I'm not saying she should be like, oh, my husband, but like that's what she wanted. She wanted him to be a man the whole film and take care of her. You know what I mean? And then I feel like what ends up happening is she just takes matters into her own hands and while he ends up never coming into like to the fight. He never ends up taking on the challenge. She has the point where he starts like having a breakdown. She's like, stop. Like your family's like depending on you. You need to get up. And she has to give him the pep talk to get up. And it's like, we were building this whole movie for him to like not even need that pep talk. Like he should have just been able to do his own thing.
Such a bad moment.
Such a bad moment. And it's not like, I'm not trying to take away from the mom's explosion as a character either. I think it is deserved that she was going through and she was very like her own way and she was playing victim a lot, but she was also trying to be considerate and open up and be a better wife. And I think at the end, like it would have just been nice to see them both empower each other rather than like him like fail to like come to the call of duty and like burrow in himself and her kind of just like take over after that. Because it just felt like they did become a unit more so. It felt like she was kind of the front, she was kind of the engine, and he was just kind of like the shell. He was doing things that were like helping the group. You know what I mean?
It just felt like it just felt like you just threw the character aside, and that's where it's really annoying. It's
yeah,
like
he
you
still
had
played his
something.
part, but his whole arc of a character just didn't matter anymore.
No, and it's annoying because at least I hated her character throughout the entire film. She is the reason that they got into so many situations and they had so many issues is because she kept doing it, and it's just like. So I get why you then want her to make the right decision. I get why then you want her to have her redemption moment. But then you're sacrificing this character with the dad. And it's just like, and he literally just gets cold feet and doesn't do a single thing. It's like, dude, you are the man of the family. You are the father. What are you doing? He just doesn't do anything.
Relatable. And then he wasn't.
And that's what we talked about. And another thing too, man, it's just like, then you got, like Brayden said, there's these little moments, man, throughout the third act. Like there's a moment where she puts acid in the guy's eyes, James McAvoy's eyes. James McAvoy drops his gun, a loaded gun with bullets in it, as we know later on. Why don't you pick up the gun and shoot him and kill him? Why don't you do that? Because you still got
right past it.
Exactly.
Even if, bro, I'll be dead ass with you. Even if she picked up the gun and ran away, I would have been more okay with that.
Oh, dude, yeah, she doesn't have to shoot him right then and there. If you want to pick it up and run away, that's great because the wife is still running around at this point.
Yeah.
So go kill the wife if you want, whatever, because the other guy's dead. The hammer's already through the back of his skull. So here's so yeah, exactly. But why won't you? It's like the same thing with Scream. It's like all these movies, and what makes me so mad is it's not like Scream or like one of those movies where they make a stupid decision. You're like, okay, I get why it serves this purpose of the story. Whatever. I guess you have to make the sacrifice. There's no reason in this movie for her not to pick up that gun. I don't see how it like I don't get it. It led to a better moment at the end, which we'll get to with the son, which that whole storyline I want to talk about later. But
yes,
so a good moment did come out of it. But it's just like it's stuff like that as a viewer that just takes you out of the moment. This is a big build up to the third act, and there's little moments like that where you're just like, oh my god, okay. And it happens so much. It's like they gain momentum and then they just stop.
Yeah. No, and the only thing I wanted to say is I just feel like it's a point I said to you earlier. I feel like I was expecting like this crazy like The Shining ending. Like I wanted it to like I feel like they set the execution up, like I said, perfect, where they was playing like cat and mouse. You know, it was like Leatherface. Everyone's like going in at different exits. They're trapped. I would have loved to see scenes like they got shot at like twice. There was two action scenes and nothing really happened. I would have like I don't know. I just wanted more. Like I wanted like a chase and like him like James McAvoy's character was so aggressive when he like chose to be and like animalistic, and I would love to see that. And the wife like she was talking about how she's like, take me with you. I didn't want to be with my husband. And then like the next slide, she's like kissing him, and it's like maybe we see her play more into that. Like I wanted more of like hiding and then like them walking past. Like we got one closet scene. We didn't, she stabbed him once when he was trying to break in. Like I would like to see some fighting. Like it was paced so good. And like how I said to Logan, the perfect example is it was like blue balls. You're sitting there the whole time. You're getting this feeling, you're getting this vibe, and you're like expecting this, and you're like, oh yes, it's gonna be so freaking good, and then it just never comes. And it's like, and then you're just like, dude, seriously? And you're just sitting there and like you're just like, what the fuck? And like I was just mad. I was genuinely just mad because I had this expectation that they set that we were gonna get all this, and it was just right here. And I'm not like I told Logan, I was like, it's not bad, but like for what they set up, I just expected more. It's not that there wasn't action. It's not that they didn't do a good job of where it was like going. I just felt like you fell flat with a lot of the character story arcs, you know, with how many people that they killed and that like this big ending that you find out like they've done this to families and families before, like for them to be the family that escapes and gets away, like can we get more than that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it I don't know. It almost actually felt like a Midsommar beat for beat. That's another issue I kind of have with it. But this is one thing I told Brayden too. He doesn't necessarily agree, but this is kind of my thought. It just felt so freaking repetitive. And I get why. I totally get why, because it adds to the creepiness, you know what I'm saying? It just adds to that like, oh man, you know it's coming, you know what I'm saying? You know it's going to happen, when is it going to break, when is it going to go? And Brayden had to use the bathroom, for example, and he was like, I don't know if I should go now, you know what I mean? Like you don't know when that's going to happen, when that snap's going to happen. He got back just in time, by the way. It was perfect timing.
It was perfect timing.
So there was just like this constant, oh, okay, let's drive back there. Oh, we're about to leave. We need to get out of here. Something really weird happened. My daughter was in their bed. This is weird. Let's get out of here. And then they go back. Like, this is what I'm talking about, man. It's just like,
that moment.
It's like, how are you just that susceptible to manipulation? Like, I get that some people are manipulative, dude. I understand that 100%. But like, it just gets to a point where it just gets unrealistic, and it's just like, you just need to leave, bro. Like, once again, if you're in it for your daughter, if you're in it for your wife, if you're in it for your husband, whatever, you need to get out, man. You need to get out, and they for some reason they didn't do that. And it just, especially like Brayden in the third act with like the thing being up on the roof and all that, it's just like, I would be getting in my car and driving away. I don't care.
100%.
I don't care. The tire's flat, I'm driving off. The bunny's up in the thing, I'm driving off. The kid gets thrown in the water and is drowning, I'm driving off. I'm saving my family. They kept going back, and it got to a point where it just like, I get why they did it, but it was just like, why? Like, I became aware of what was happening, and that's obviously not what you want as a viewer, right? You want to be living in that moment. And I became aware, and it's because of those choices. But like I said, it wasn't like a, why did they do that? I get why. I get why the story needed it to go forward, and it added suspense to it for sure. But it was so repetitive for me that I was like, I was just like, oh, yep, nothing's gonna happen here, and nothing happened.
I get that though.
I
totally understand.
Or like, oh, we're about to leave. No, you're not. No, something's gonna happen, brother. They're about to say something. You're not going.
You're coming right.
We're coming right back, brother. So like,
that was the thing. It's like, how much did it take? See, I think that's why it doesn't bother me as much, because like you said, I understand exactly. It all makes sense on why there probably is a dad in this world that would do that. Like, he would do that for his daughter, especially because she's tweaking like that. I get it.
So his wife doesn't cheat again.
Yeah. It just got to a point, like you said, it was just like, Like, are you really gonna go? Like, how many things do they have to do for you to finally be like, okay, yeah, that's enough? That's where the wife came into play a lot, where it's like she was annoying a lot and she would tweak out over the most minuscule things, but I finally, like, when it was probably time to go, she was the person to be like, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Even though
it's
she,
just
yeah. Even though, but this is what I'm talking about.
even though but then she brings them right back.
Okay,
She's
okay,
the reason they
that's
go
my
back.
point. That's my point. And then before that, the dad was saying he wants to go, and then she's, you know what I'm saying, and then she's like, no, let's stay. So this is what I'm talking about. The characters, their consistency made no sense. No sense. He's the one that, you know, he's the one that was kind of, weirded out by stuff. She didn't really care as much. And then it just kept going on where then she just became very, very, like, aware and being like, I want to go. And then he didn't want to go.
That's where the
like,
problem is.
What?
No, that's exactly where the problem is. Not to cut you off. It's just like you have these two who serve each other in that sense. Like, she makes the choices. He obviously doesn't agree with it, so she always conforms for him. And it's like, what you need by the end of the movie is like him to just stand up and be like, no, this is the decision that we're making, and her just to be confident in that decision as well.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. That's probably what it needed.
Just because you're setting it up for that.
Yep.
Because at the end, it's like she's the one that's like making the choices. He's like, no, I really don't agree. And she's like, well, fine. Like, I want you to make the choices. Make the choice. And then he makes the choice. And then, like, she backs him up on it. And then by the end of it, she's just like, all right, fuck your choice. And he's just like, you're right, fuck my choice.
And then he's on the ground.
It's like, bro, no way.
Yeah.
You both need to be like, yeah, let's do this.
And then he's on the ground crying about he doesn't know what to do, I'm like, what? This is not this character. It's not, it does, what? Yeah. Listen, we're talking, I know we're diving into this deep. We like this movie. Our scores are going to be higher.
It's
but
just
it's
the
just,
fact that we see potential that.
Yeah, man. And it's just like, Brayden said it perfectly. Why I feel like what I'm missing as a viewer is that big moment for his character, and we just didn't get it. So
yeah, just a lot of them, because even in general, the only person I feel like story was served was actually the crazy family
and
the kid.
Oh my god, not Art. What's his name? Yeah, the kid. I forgot his name though.
No, I think because it's Patty is the dad, and I think it is Artie. Or no, not Art.
I don't know. Anyways,
like the son.
I'll look it up. Yeah.
You know why I really feel, because I was honestly just gonna say the son, but honestly, you know where it goes full circle for me. Maybe I'm just missing something with like our main character family, but you have the kid. Obviously, what we find out in the spoiler, guys, spoiler warning, is that the McAvoy family, they were basically like, they had a daughter that like they miscarried, and I guess they maybe originally had a son, or they never had kids and they just made that story up. But they basically would prey on families, and they wanted to have a complete family, like a son and a daughter. So the son actually wasn't their son. It was a son from another family, and they cut his tongue out so he couldn't communicate with people. And so they were basically inviting them over to get the daughter.
Great story. Great story. I love that.
Story.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And so you have it wrapped up in the end when they basically are ready to leave. They sedate the dad. I think this is the logical. This is the cherry on top. This is what redeemed a little bit of it for me. They were all about to walk away after just sedating him and leaving him alive. He gets on top of the dad, and then he was like, "There you go. That's my boy." And I think that's what wraps up James McAvoy's story. Is he just wanted, like earlier when the son comes in, he said, "I just want, like, give me love. I just want you to give me love." And he gives him a hug, and the son really wouldn't give him a hug. He was trying to put the keys back on him. You know what I mean? And I feel like that wraps his story, because it's like his son truly became like him. He got that father-son bond that he wanted, even if it was the last moments. And then you have the son who has this whole story. He gets his revenge and ends up emulating exactly who James McAvoy character truly was.
Right.
So it's a perfect wrap-up for their story, and I thought it was beautiful. And then you just look at the main family, and I don't know, you're just left kind of feeling like the daughter still never, like, grew the fuck up. The wife never really, like, got that. Like, the husband never really gave her that, and the husband never felt fulfilled with himself. Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean?
I didn't like that. But, yeah, his name's Ant, by the way.
Ant.
For Anthony, I'm assuming. But yeah, Ant was yeah, like Brayden said, just it's a great storyline. When they dive into, because like that's one of the what I was talking about earlier. You know the premise of the story because of the trailer, and because of the previews, but you do get those little plot twists that are really interesting. And I wasn't expecting that at all. Like I don't know what it was. I thought maybe that was one of their their actual kid, and there was like they would beat him and do some weird stuff to him, but um, but but obviously you find out, like Brayden said, he was part of another family that they killed because he takes them to the basement. You see all the other families, things, and they've obviously done this many, many times before. One cool thing I want to talk about too, Brayden, is the girlfriend of James McAvoy or the wife, whatever, was definitely a victim too. 100%.
Yeah.
I think all that is an actual true thing, especially since at the beginning of the movie, when she takes off her shirt or whatever, and you see the marks all over her side and stuff, like that, just like what happened to the son. I do believe that she was probably one of the first victims of James McAvoy, and she just is brainwashed into this. You know how cults go. It's actually probably a cult movie, just like Texas A&M. And they get brainwashed, into believing all this stuff around them and thinking that this is normal and okay. So I think that moment when she looked at Angie or whatever her name was, and she goes, not Angie, I don't think it is, but she looks at her and she goes, hey, when she locks him in the room or whatever for that first time, she goes, hey, by the way, I'm a victim too. I was a victim. And she says, nah, close it. And they close it and lock her up in there. I think that's definitely true, and I think she is a victim 100%. Maybe there could have been a cool moment there, but that was one of those logical moments where I was like, oh my God, in the third act. I was like, we're on the right track again, because they looked at her and said, no, we're keeping you in there. I was like, okay, great. That's smart. I would have done the same thing. So I'm glad that they didn't take her out, but I think maybe there could have been a moment while here's my thing with the wife. Once again, now we're really picking for stuff with the negatives, but because I think her death was done pretty well, her falling off the roof. Yeah. But maybe she could have been on the ground dying, right? And she has a moment and it's like maybe a one-on-one moment with her and the wife, and it's like, I was a victim, and there's like a really deep sentimental moment that I think would have been beautiful.
And then she died. That would have been a lot better.
That would have been emotional as hell. Yeah. But they didn't go that route. Which listen, Jason, maybe would have been out. Let us know. Maybe it would have been. Maybe it would have been too cliche.
Film actors in the dark room.
OIF winners.
Sorry, continue.
No, but it wouldn't have. Maybe it wouldn't have fit. Maybe it would have been out of place. You know what I'm saying? But why not film that scene and then also do an alternate ending, because it was toward the end where they did what they released. Like I don't know. That's just another 6-7 hours of filming. Why not do that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Anyway, but I just think, that would have added something. If you didn't want it, then just cut it out of the film. But it was a really good moment that I thought of while I was watching it. I was like, man, since that character, I just feel like that's another character that had so much depth to it. And once again, it might have been too much going on, because this movie was already, over 2 hours long. But maybe something else there would have been really nice. And like Brayden said to me in the car too, he was like, I actually kind of like her character more than I like the main lady throughout the film. And it's true, because she just, I don't know, she just gave off, I don't know, she was just, there was something there to that character that there's layers that we didn't get to. And I feel like that's just something that the filmmakers missed out on. But that's really all my negatives for the film.
Same thing. Yeah. And everything else is, like, we talked about our positives, like, the acting was amazing. The story was amazing. The shots were amazing. It just really, like, first through second, even the beginning of the third act, like the very beginning of the third act was like a 9.5 for me. You know what I mean? It was fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was just really how everything kind of played out, I guess. It's not even the things that happened. I guess it's really just how it played out. You know what I mean? Or I don't know.
It's actually, looking back on it, I can't really point it out either. Like, I think it's just, you guys got to watch this movie, and I think we need to watch it again. I think this is a movie we should watch again and come back to see, like, whenever it comes out on digital, to give our thoughts later this year, because it does feel, because there are a couple weeks where there's really no movies coming out, especially in November, because it's that weird gap between like horror movies and Christmas movies, you know what I'm saying, and like the December movies. So that we might come back one week and review it again and give our thoughts on it, and maybe we might change our mind. Maybe we might go, hey, this is actually not bad. But yeah, I feel like they missed out on a lot of stuff, and Brayden's finally saying what I usually say, and it's, man, it's the missed out opportunities that kind of taken me out of it when it made this movie better, which is not really a fair way to base it. But because it's a lot of our own bias coming into it. But I also feel like it's just the way things played out. Like Brayden said, it's not even necessarily what they did; it's just how they did it.
Expectation they set
And
that just never.
Yeah,
came,
it just never. Yeah, they didn't deliver
blue balls
smoothly. But yeah, overall though, really like this movie. The acting's phenomenal. The visuals, it just felt like a really professional film. Like everyone did a phenomenal job, on a technicality standpoint. Really enjoyed every aspect about it. The audio was great. Like it was super loud, and the jump scares they made sense. Like everything was really solid. But
when the lights were out and he was singing in the car outside.
Yeah,
that was
great shot.
Fantastic scene.
Great scene. James McAvoy killed it. Another amazing performance. I'm down to rate it if you are.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I think you go first.
I'm ready.
Year, or this.
I go ready this year.
This year, brother.
I'm ready this year.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go an 8.8.
I respect that.
I really like the film. It probably would be a high 9, but that last ending just leaves I just need to it's either 8.8, 8.9. I just remember as soon as it ended, I was kind of sitting there feeling
yeah.
You know what I mean? But looking back on it, I am very pleased with it. I can't even remember what was negative about it. So I'll give it an 8.8, 8.9. I'll give it 8.9. I'll give it 8.9.
Yeah, Brayden looked at me right after the movie and said, third act was the weakest, right? I was like, yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was tripping or not.
No, it definitely was. And I looked at him, I was like, no, 100%, no doubt. And I think looking back at how I was feeling, yeah, I'm probably gonna give this movie. This seems low, but it's really not. I just think this is a fair rating because I'll go 8.2. The reason I say that as well is even in the first two acts, the wife is just so annoying. There were so many points throughout the film where even people behind us were talking, and they were
serious.
No, even they were like, "What is going on?" She just played victim, especially with the cheating thing. I was like, "Oh my god!" That's what really got me. I was like, that was the final straw because she was so annoying before that, and that she was like, oh, but it's just take accountability for what you did, brother.
Yeah, right.
And so there's just so many moments that were just not great and decisions but the first two acts were really solid. I really enjoyed it. There was this, like Brayden said, this eerie, creepy vibe. Your heart was racing. You didn't know when this guy was going to snap. The scene I think we need to point out is the scene when they were doing the Cotton Eye Joe scene. It's a great scene. Fantastic. It's in the trailer and the preview, but this is a more extended version. It looks amazing. I love it.
I agreed with that was another thing that got her. She started screaming at him when he was like, "Go to your room. Go to your room." She's like, and I was like, "You've never seen someone yell at their kid to go to their room?" Yeah. When he threw the muffin or whatever or the bread at him, now I understand, but
not the going to your room. Yeah, that was weird, but no, I mean overall, on the technicality standpoint, like I said, it's really good, and so I'll give it an 8.2. I feel like I want to give it more, but I just remember sitting at the end of that film going this is a type of film that's built up to the ending.
It wasn't ugh. It was
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're built up. It's a movie that builds up to the ending. It's a suspense film, and when you don't hit on the ending, I feel like it should have, obviously takes away from that. But yeah. So 8.2, 8.9. We're both in the 8s. You guys let us know what your thoughts on the film are. Go watch it. Let us know, baby.
Watch it, or you're missing out.
Yes, sir. And give this video a like, comment, subscribe down below for episodes every single week. And everyone watching the movie review, go check out the full episode. Why not? Check us out every single week, baby. Do it. Brayden, what do we have for any big news from films or anything recently or anything popping now? Okay, yeah, you haven't really sent me much. There's nothing really going on.
I haven't heard anything.
There we go. Well,
nothing.
Now talking about Actors POV website, man. Everything's getting finalized. What we'd love to see. It's still gonna be coming out this Friday. So excited, man. We're getting the domain soon, which is going to be amazing. All that, like I said, if you go to our Instagram at Actors POV Pod, updates will be going on. I'm probably going to going to do an announcement on there today, just kind of giving the date and everything. And we are going to be finalizing it all. So be ready. Very excited. Any questions you guys got, DM us on there at Actors POV Pod or on our personal it's Logan Allen and at Brayden_Noble for any questions. But yeah, ready for that, baby. Brayden, any actually, what movie do we have this weekend? Do you know?
I don't.
Let's look
I
it up,
don't
baby.
know.
Let's see what we got on the way.
Coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm ready for Interstellar. We're gonna see Interstellar in XD in November, bro, or in December, whatever it is now. Oh man, it was gonna be out this weekend, but they pushed it back.
What?
Unbelievable. Let's see.
Bitches. All right, them bitches.
Coming soon. Oh. Wait, what? No, Joker is 3 weeks from now. There's really nothing popping, dude. The one this week we have is called Never Let Go. As Halle Berry in it. When an unspeakable, so it's all horror now. When Jesus, dude. When an unspeakable evil takes over the world, the only protection for a mother and her twin sons in their house and strong. The only protection for a mother and her twin sons is their house and strong bond. Needing to stay connected at all times, even tethering themselves with ropes, they must cling to one another and never let go. Just like the one game, Chain Together. They made a live Chain Together, brother.
Oh my god, I think I've seen the clips for this, dude.
However, when one of the boys questions if the
God.
evil is real, the ties that bind them together are severed, triggering
Yo, what about
a
Smile?
terrifying
Is Smile
fight.
2 out? Is it Smile 2?
No. Oh, wait. Oh, no, sorry. Megalopolis is next week.
Why?
Megapolis is next, or whatever is next week. That's really, and you got the new Transformers movie, but I don't really, I mean,
Oh, the animated one?
yeah. It does come out this weekend.
Yo.
We could do an animated movie.
Dude, don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on the animated movies. They're some of our favorites last
That's
year.
true.
yo.
That's true. All right, so we're definitely, so right now it's Transformers and Never Let Go. I'll watch the Never Let Go trailer and see. Like Brayden said, it's probably a little rough. We'll look at it though and we'll see. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's episode, man. Mr. B, anything you want to say to the people?
Hey, all you people. Hey, all you people. Hey, all you people, listen to me. Yo, we appreciate y'all. Tune in next time. Tune in this time. Tune in the last one. And, yeah, stay sexy, stay hungry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys have a great rest of your night. We'll see you, baby. Love you.
Go Eagles. Watch the Eagles and Falcons game tonight. Root Eagles.
The
Fly,
Gators
fly.
are really bad. The Eagles are amazing. We love to see it.
We love it.
Oh, my
Not the
team
Gators,
sucks.
but the Eagles.
True. Love y'all.
Love y'all.